All right, well, let's get started. How's everybody doing? How's everybody? Good.
How are you?
Pretty good. I'm a little tired. I was up late last night. Picked up someone from the airport.
How's your brother-in-law doing?
Yeah.
Super disappointed. They never made it out of pool play at the Olympics.
He was women's or men's?
Men's
beach.
Men's beach.
They didn't make it.
No, they won their first match,
Yeah, I saw that.
and then the second match was close, but they lost, and the third match was 1-1, and so they went to the third game, and there was a questionable call, and they are already losing by a few points. So I don't want to say that the call is what made or broke that game of the match, but because there was already I think there was already like a 4-point gap when that call was made, but it certainly didn't help their mental game. And he even got
I say.
one
Nice to see you.
one of the guys, I think it was Patterson, got a yellow card because he just
Lost it.
Yep. He didn't lose it, but he just kept arguing when you can't hear them, but you can see them dialoguing, and you could see that the referee had said stop, and he just kept going, so he yellow carded him. So all of that probably didn't help, but I don't think it would have made or broke the game,
Sure.
But it might have influenced it. So they lost the third, and then they were still in it if Qatar beat the other, I forget who they were playing, but whoever Qatar was playing, Qatar had to have won to allow that team, our U.S. team, to advance, and they didn't. Qatar was bottom of the pool, so it wasn't likely, but you never know. There's always upsets.
We thought we saw your brother-in-law one time. We were looking.
Yeah, I have lots of pictures because there were people looking, and so there's so here's a bunch of, here's some shots of him. Because again, with beach volleyball, coaches are in the stands. They can't be.
This one was in
So
the
that's
stands.
him right there.
Yeah.
There's him cheering.
So does he get to stay for the closing ceremonies, or does he have to come home?
No, I think he's still there. I think those are wives of the players. There's my brother-in-law.
Maybe in the stands, but he's still coaching.
Oh yeah. And then there's Aubrey.
Cute.
So yeah, they got knocked out of pool play. Our I don't know, volleyball all around. I don't think there's some teams. Misty May, or is it Misty May Trainer?
She's
Yeah,
no
and
longer
her.
playing.
No, not Misty May. Then
Other one.
the other one. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I think they won yesterday, so they're moving on. They beat Italy, I think, last night or sometime yesterday. Whenever it was.
Walsh, something Walsh.
Carrie Walsh, something. Yep, and her new partner. Yeah, they won. There you go. So
Reminder.
I know a lot of you are on Verizon, and I'm actually considering that as well because I'm just getting worse and worse. Not worse and worse. It's always been that way, but getting more frustrated with not having reception.
Who are you with now?
AT&T.
And where are you not getting reception?
My home and my entire neighborhood. Parts of this building. Like if I leave the office wing,
Oh.
I pretty much have no service in the rest of the building. Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any service in Walmart. I don't have any service in Fred Meyer. So I can't text Becca and say, is there anything else? Or if she thinks of something and texts me, and that just happened last week. I was in line checking out, and I was close enough to the door that apparently reception came through the windows or something. And she said, don't forget this and this. We need it too. And I was already in line actively checking out. So then the cashier, I said, can I leave my cart somewhere? She's like, leave it right here next to me. And so then I ran back and grabbed the other 2 items and bought them. So yeah. And part of that is when we first moved here, we got an offer for a free microcell, which I think we talked about with the 2 of you, which provides cell service, full service in your house. Yeah.
Network, that's what
Yep.
we're about, yeah.
And they used to be cheaper, but they're now $250.
Verizon's are 100 and a little over 100 now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I paid 100 for one, and then, yeah, 150.
You paid $250 for the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new
That's
ones,
right.
because they're the LTE, the old ones are cheaper. That were just
I have a question on that microphone. The one Susan got, it had a little GPS antenna, kind of with a little slot at the top.
Yes.
Then it had a cord to extend. So, and we did that. We extended it and put it by a window. It seems to work fine.
Mm-hmm.
Had we not extended it and left it in the base unit, what would have been the downside?
You mean using that antenna extender?
Yeah, where it's not, perhaps not getting a clear GPS signal, would that affect the quality of the?
I don't know how that one works. Does it plug into your internet? Like, do you?
Yeah, it plugs into the router.
So that's where it's getting its signal from. It's not getting its signal from satellites like our phones normally do.
Right.
Why does it need the GPS antenna? Why does it need to know where it is? So I guess maybe it's a question.
Is it a GPS antenna? I thought it was a signal booster
No, it
to
says
further
it
extend the
says
range.
GPS.
Well, sometimes when you're indoors, GPS doesn't work. I mean,
they said to place it by a window, but I don't understand why that network extender needs to have a GPS signal.
I don't, unless you're doing a lot of mapping stuff.
No, maybe. So those look.
Yeah, because if you're indoors, which is why if you're on a GPS thing on your phone, it'll say, like my mapping program that I use for traveling says, can't find GPS, try going outdoors. Which is the same reason why if you have like XM or Sirius radio, if you're driving through a forested area, the trees are blocking that signal. So that's
the
what
GPS antenna then would have nothing to do.
I don't think it actually, I can't say for certain because I don't know enough about it, but I think it's strictly for GPS and does not actually affect the.
So the strength of the signal coming through that is a function of the router.
Yes, and is based on, and it has a certain radius that it extends to. And that is slightly affected by its location. You wouldn't want to stick it in the basement and hope that it reaches out.
Right.
Well, see,
Beyond.
but mine is essentially in the basement. It's downstairs.
Yeah, but you got a big window there.
But I can get a signal all the way out of my shop.
That's good. Yeah. So those things do affect it. And depends on what your walls are made out of, and metal and etc. all affects the shielding and the ability to pass through those objects.
So I've got Verizon, I've got 3 bars in here right now. Do you have any bars?
Yes, I do. But as soon as I go in the sanctuary,
I've got
it's
2
gone.
buttons with
And throughout most of the building, it's gone. If I'm near a window, it works. But for some reason, so it's bizarre. But Verizon, so I go on this this lady can commando website occasionally. And apparently Verizon, since I've been looking it up, they have things called a super cookie that tracks your browsing, and then they sell that information to third parties. So, and according, if I read this article right, they're still actually doing it. They were fined by the FCC and are supposed to implement a change. And they've already done a minor change, but the way you have to do it is you're going to have to go to Verizon's website and log in with your account, and then basically opt out of it. And then the way it's going to happen in the future is that you opt in. Why you would ever want to do that, I don't know, because you're getting nothing and you're giving out information and having Verizon earn money in the process for it. But I can't do this because I don't have a Verizon account. But you'd log into your account on your website, and then there on the Verizon website, and then there's a way to opt out of this ad tracking.
What's it called?
Ad tracking. I'm sure they won't actually call it a super cookie on Verizon's website, so I would look up ad tracking. And in fact, there's also ways to limit it on your, let me see here. Yeah, here we go. There's also ways to limit it on your phones as well. So we've got, I don't think anyone in any of our classes has Windows phones, so we'll focus on the iPhone and the Android. So for iPhone, if you get on your phone and you go to settings, and we'll do Android in just a minute. You go to privacy, which is a quarter of the way down in your general settings, or not general, but down in the main settings. So there's a privacy.
Still looking for that.
Okay.
I'm at settings.
Yep. So you see how they're broken up by sections?
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be 1, 2, it'd be the third section, and it's the last one of that section. And the first one in that section says general.
Got it.
Great. Is everyone else there that's got an iPhone?
No, okay, I started late. Okay,
No
so
problem.
where do I go?
You're in settings.
Okay, wait a minute. Yes, settings.
Okay. The third section, because they're broken up by those gray divisions.
Right,
The third section, which starts with general,
right.
the bottom of that has privacy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Then you scroll all the way to the bottom, and the very last thing on there is called advertising.
Right,
And then basically your only option is limit ad tracking. If it's green, you're good to go. If it's not green,
So just change it to
just
green.
tick it to green, and it'll limit what they can track.
all right.
Good.
Wow, thanks.
And then are you guys good?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
great, thank you.
For Android,
Am I the only one with Android?
currently in the room.
I think
Let's see. Turn off the Google Ad ID system. Don't go to your Android. No, don't go to your Android phone settings, but your Google settings app.
Well, do I want those on like that?
So device, that's a little different. And you can turn them off if you want. Apple has that same feature. Basically, if an app crashes or your phone stops working properly, having those turned on, that automatically sends that information to Motorola,
Oh.
and then that will help them improve the next time they update the operating system. So it's completely up to you. They do that with laptops and desktops for Apple and Windows. It's a way for people that choose to opt in, it sends that information to those companies to help them develop their products better.
Okay.
Because it may be a one-time thing, but sometimes it's systemic, and it helps them learn about those flaws in their operating systems.
Okay.
So it says to go to your Google settings app.
So under settings, I've got Google. That's it, huh?
Well, there's your Android settings, but then there's Google settings because Android is developed by Google, so there's a whole set of them in there.
Okay,
Did you find Google settings?
I've got Google. Let's see.
No, it just says Google settings. There should be. Let's see.
I've got Google. Oh, wait a minute. There's a different settings in there. No. So I went into there.
Yeah, that's settings, but there should be.
But under settings, there was Google. That's not it, huh?
Google. Well, I did not want to do that.
Oh, look, it was that Pokemon.
I don't know. Let's try it. Maybe it's that. Okay, let's see what it says. Google settings. No, there's nothing that says add links. Is there? Oh, let's try. It's alphabetical. There's a Google settings that should be right next to Google. Maybe you don't have it on your phone. Technically, maybe. No, I don't see it anywhere. We'll keep. Yeah. All right, we'll look that up in a little bit. So those are two ways. So logging into your Verizon account and opting out. And then in the future, if I read this right, I don't think it's implemented now, but in the future, when they do come up with a new way, it's an opt-in option. I think I mentioned that, but oops.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes,
It's more.
you
It was
got it.
under that Google.
Yep.
I was under settings and then Google.
It was? Okay. Because it said Google settings app, which made it sound
Yeah.
like it was something completely different. But yeah, yours is on the left, which means it's turned off.
Okay.
Yeah, for you,
That's what I want.
well, for all of us, left is off and on is on the right. So it is turned off, which is good.
It says instruct apps not to use your advertising.
Yes.
So would I want it on?
No, that's what it's saying it currently is doing.
Oh. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, sometimes I've done that before. It's like,
yeah.
it says, do not do this. I'm like, okay, turn it on. And then the text changes. It says you are now doing, no, okay, turn it back off again.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So there's a little tidbit of information for everybody there. And now for some interest. So I think this is fascinating. I know no one here plays games on the scale that I do.
There are, pew.
True.
Yes.
So this, there's a new game that came out. I didn't know a ton about it, but highly anticipated game. It's called No Man's Sky. So I bought it on Friday and I've been playing it for the last couple of days, and the whole thing is mind blowing. So it's a 7-minute video. This is one of the creators of the game. It's made by an independent group, independent company. So the indie scene for games has exploded the last couple of years, as I think it has with many different areas where independent companies are coming up and doing incredible things. And I think part of the reason why, there's a couple reasons why I think that the games industry has exploded with these independent companies is because of smartphones. Because for $100 you can put as much stuff as you want on the App Store. $100 instead of just randomly being somewhere on the internet. So it kind of creates an avenue, much like the App Store does. So there's this independent company called Hello Games that came out, just released in the last couple of days, a game called No Man's Sky. And Colbert, one of the creators was on the Colbert Show. And I think this video, it's 7 minutes, but I think this video will do an amazing job of explaining better than I can.
The game is No Man's Sky.
Oh,
it's one of the most interesting.
Hold on, it's not playing through the right speakers. Wrong button.
Games that have come out in years. It stole the show at E3. Since then, the gaming world's been dying to know the release date. I'm guessing it's fairly soon since you're on my show. Can you give us any idea of when that might be, or is it still a secret?
It's still a secret.
Okay, great. All right. Well, let's talk about the thing that everybody wants you to release, No Man's Sky. What is different about it? It's a space game, right?
Right.
What's different about this game that makes it like quantum leap from earlier gaming platforms?
Well, what we're trying to do is make an entire universe generated by the computer, and then we're going to set people loose in it. So
By entire universe, do you mean something the size of the universe?
exactly, yeah. So like 18 quintillion planets.
18 quintillion planets. That's a hard number to wrap your head around. Is there any, are you ever worried the game might get boring after visiting the first trillion planets? You couldn't possibly play the entire game then.
Right. No, I mean, by the time, like, even if a planet was discovered every second, you know, we would still all be dead before they were all discovered. Our sun would have burned out,
But
our
okay,
own sun.
How do you, our actual sun, not
Our
the
actual
sun in the
sun.
game.
Not
Okay.
the sun of the game, no.
How do you create that? So my understanding is that you didn't actually create the individual planets, that the universe in some ways created itself. How did this come about?
Yeah, we're actually just a tiny little team. Games are normally made by huge teams, like hundreds of people, and there's like 10 of us basically making this game. So we use the computer to generate everything that you see using maths.
What do you mean?
basically.
Use math. Okay,
Right.
okay. Using sort of the laws of physics as they're generally accepted now,
Yeah, that's part of
Okay.
it.
and evolutionary biology because these planets are populated.
Right, we've got creatures, trees, rocks, grass.
And you, the
shapes of
creator of the game, or one of the creators of the game, will go to one of these planets and you don't necessarily know what you're going to run into.
Exactly.
Because it just
we're
grew
constantly-
there.
Right. We're constantly surprised. We'll find creatures and things like that. We never know they existed. We'll find life, places that we didn't expect it. Yeah.
You know, I thought Morgan Freeman was God. You were actually my second God. That I'm happy to. Well, let's give the people out there an idea of what you can run into when you finally get to play this thing and the scale of the thing that you have set in motion. I won't say created, but set in motion to create itself.
Right.
You set the parameters for what could possibly be done. Okay, so we got the things up on the screens here. We're playing it right over here. So where are we right now?
So we're in a solar system at the outside edge of space.
Okay.
And
we're
as you can
landing.
see, space is full. There's
You could have gone around that. You know you could have gone around that.
and we've got
Okay.
a crowd to please. Right.
So we're entering the atmosphere.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
we're gonna head down to this planet and take a look.
All right, we're coming in pretty hot, Sean. We're coming in.
Yeah.
Be careful. Is there like an ablative quality? Are we going to heat up as we come down into the
Yeah,
atmosphere?
there
Yes, we
is.
are. We're heating up as we come in.
We are moving.
We're on
incredibly fast, right?
Nadris. Atmosphere 12% oxygen.
It's not oxygen, it's oxygen. So
Oh,
we've
oxygen,
developed
okay.
our own periodic table.
Oh, wow. You really did create your own universe.
Wow.
Be careful where you land.
Yeah, you
and-
can get out wherever you want. The entire planet is there. You can.
So you're an adventurer and a discoverer. That's
An explorer,
the objective
right.
of the game.
It's a science fiction
And
game.
and you're very mad at green pylons for some reason. Why are you shooting those pylons?
So we're
What's that for?
collecting some resources, basically, some chemical elements.
And you can use that for fuel or something like
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
Okay.
So you can see up in the sky that
So
there
those
are-
animals, you didn't create them. They grew based
Right.
upon the evolutionary biology and the conditions of the planet.
the rules that we've set in motion, right? The rules we've taught the computer.
Okay.
So up in the sky, you can see other planets. And
Okay.
just for the show, I've added a button so that we can just jump there. Normally, you would have to fly, which takes a little bit of time.
Okay. Is there a hyper jump in this? Is there a faster
there's
than
a
light drive?
hyperdrive. All right. But I just wanted to take you around this solar system, just one solar system.
Okay.
So in the game, a big part of the game is that you can name things if you're the first person to discover them. You can kind of set your mark on the world. So I thought we'd allow you to just put your name on it.
Nine. The whole bison. That's nice. It's beautiful. Lloyd. It's called Lloyd.
Right.
All right.
So if somebody,
The mole bear. That's nice. So do you get points or anything by naming things?
yeah,
get
you get money for
experience
that.
points. Yes.
You're basically an explorer. Everyone's exploring together, the same universe. And so if somebody else comes and visits that planet, they're going to see the mole bear, right?
So dinosaur kangaroos, obviously with antlers. That's nice. All right. I saw one of those robots called Atreus earlier.
Yes. We're working
Fletia.
on it too.
Hurricane Joaquin is off the coast
Yeah.
of Fletia right now.
Well, that's it. These worlds, they have their own ecologies, their own weather systems.
Now, how big? Now, can you give me a sense of the scale of what we're in right now?
So these are
all on. We're on our 4th planet now. Right?
yeah, this is the 5th.
5th planet, all in the same star system.
All in the same star
Do
system.
we ever get to see ourselves?
No, you don't see yourself, so the only way for you to know what you look like is for somebody else to, to see you.
Can you run into other people, other players on the game?
Yes, but the chances of that are incredibly rare, just because of the size of what we're building.
Wow. 9. How do you host people? Where do you host something this big that you have 18
So,
quintillion
Actually,
stars?
because it's all generated from mass, everything is just generated. There's nothing stored on disk or anything like that. So this whole planet, which
That's
you
the
now
planet we're just on.
own, right?
It's not bad.
It's just being generated right now as I walk around it. So that's why there's no load times. Everything you see just happens on the fly.
Wow.
Generated by the computer. So we're right back to where we started, that first planet we landed on.
All right.
And I can just hop in my ship,
All right.
fly back out to space.
All right. That looks a little bit like an X-wing fighter. Let's go to space before the lawyers from Lucasfilm catch us.
They will blame, our
Yeah.
computer-generated algorithms,
You guys
right?
can do it,
Exactly.
obviously.
Exactly. They
Okay.
don't know.
And now,
So
are we
we can
gonna
just-
we get a view of the star system up here?
Right. So I can pop out to the galactic map.
Let's do
anytime I
that.
want.
Yeah.
And this is the star system that we're at.
Our core.
So that was
Yeah.
where those planets were orbiting around was that sun. And we
Okay.
can even name that.
I like it. I like it.
So if I pull out a little bit, you'll begin to get a sense of
Well, that's the local group.
right. You get a sense of the scale of what we're building. So every
And
one of
each
these
one of those
is a
dots
star system.
that you can visit.
Yeah, just like the one we were at, with planet-sized planets, with life and ecology and everything else.
My gosh.
It's beautiful to look at and awe-inspiring with the night sky to know the vastness and the capability of it. Well, Sean, good luck. I can't wait to actually play it. Thank you so much
Thanks so
for
much.
coming.
What a story, what a commercial for that product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I don't think anything that maybe
How
you'll
much does
probably.
it cost?
It's $60, and you can get it for the PlayStation 4 or the PC via this time out Steam earlier, so via Steam. Let's see.
And how do you keep score or win or what's the goal?
So this is one of the tags for this game right here is open world, right? See, I'm highlighting it right there.
It's just
no.
exploration.
You are literally, as you mentioned, you're literally an explorer, and you go out and you. So it is only for PC. It's not for Mac, and then only for PlayStation 4, not for Xbox One.
Do you know when it's coming out?
It came out. It came out for PlayStation on the 9th. So what's today? The 15th. So almost a week ago. And then it came out on PC on the 12th, I believe. And I got it on Friday.
So what do you play it on?
The PlayStation 4. So right now, a couple updates ago, the PlayStation 4 came out with a thing called Remote Play. And so I can play, if the PlayStation is turned on, I can basically play it from anywhere. I've got an internet connection and my laptop. So I'm trying to see if I can connect. I texted Becca and I told her to turn on my PlayStation. And I forgot to bring, because I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to talk about this morning, so I didn't bring my controller. So I won't be able to actually play. But this is my basically desktop for my PlayStation at home. And it's like there is a DVD in there, so we could watch a DVD, probably Disney Princess something. But this is No Man's Sky, and I can't actually do much other than, and that horrible sound is because, there we go. But this is where I am right now in the game. On some planet, I'm in my space. Again, I can't actually do anything because I don't have my controller, but I'm sitting in my spaceship on a planet. And it's crazy. It's an insane.
So this isn't a game where you play with other people and try to catch the most, or
No, there's there's no leaderboards. There's no like, I've discovered 50 planets and you've only discovered 5, or solar systems. There's nothing like that. And I tried looking this morning so that I could maybe show you, because you can upload your, if you're the first person to discover a solar system and or a planet, as you saw with him, you can rename them. I haven't renamed a single one. That seems too time consuming to try to come up with the names for everything. But as soon as you land on a planet, if you're the first person to land on the planet, your gamer ID is now associated with that planet and that solar system. And so anything that I've discovered is now, if anyone were to come across that solar system or planet, it will say that it was discovered by me. My gamer tag. And so the solar system I'm in right now actually was discovered by another player. So I'm actually technically not too far from someone in theory, but he didn't, I'm assuming it's a he, the name was Scott something, was his gamer ID. But he didn't discover any of the planets, never visited any of the planets. But the solar system was discovered by him. And now the planets were discovered by me. So, and I think I'm on my 3rd solar system right now. The last one I was in only had 2 planets and a moon. And I've not encountered anything quite as alive as the ones, and I mean, obviously they went to those because there was plenty of plant and animal wildlife. I have encountered some plants, but nothing quite so alive as that, with creatures running around all over the place. But it's pretty incredible.
Yes.
And there are some base goals. When you first start out the game, your ship is crashed, and that little thing that he had it's called a multi-tool. It harvests resources and does other things. Both your tool and your ship are busted. So then you have to go and collect resources to fix your tool and fix your ship. And then you can get into space. And there's space stations, and then you have to find the technology to build a warp drive, and then you can travel to other solar systems. And you don't speak their language, and so you have to find these things that teach you one word at a time.
oh wow.
And so pretty much all I know, I know like 75 words, but it's 3 different languages that I've encountered right now.
Wow.
And so when I'm talking to people, the only word that I pretty much constantly get from them is the word interloper.
Hmm.
So, and I'm assuming they're talking about me. So it's just,
Wow.
I mean, the graphics are incredible. The fact that you're
Yeah.
exploring brand new stuff is incredible. But beyond that, I mean, yeah, it's not like it's not a first person shooter where you're going around running and blowing people up. And it's strictly about exploration. And
If I may,
yes,
I'm looking at an app called CarPlay,
yes.
and it says if your car supports wireless CarPlay.
Mm-hmm.
What is wireless CarPlay?
Yeah, your car has to be, well, you might be able to have it installed, but your car would have to be manufactured with it off the assembly line.
It would have to be what does the product do?
It allows, so instead of, if you're doing GPS or listening to music or checking the weather, some of those base apps, your CarPlay is specifically for an iPhone. It would then, you would connect your phone via Bluetooth to the console on your car. A lot of cars nowadays have the touch screen, and you can connect your phone via Bluetooth to make phone calls and get GPS. CarPlay is that, but it's built specifically for the iPhone. And so it's a digital touchscreen interface. So instead of looking down at your phone at your lap or something, you would just push it on the console in front of you to make a call.
If my car has it?
It would be if you've got a touchscreen console. You might be able to look it up online to see if you just type in, 2015 RAV4 CarPlay, and it would tell you if it's even available for that. And then it depends on if you bought that package. Cars come with different packages: sport package, luxury, etc. But it's a fairly new thing, so there's a good chance that it probably doesn't. But that doesn't mean you still can't connect. If you do have a touchscreen display, you can't connect it via Bluetooth. My car does. It's not touchscreen, but it connects via Bluetooth, so I can make phone calls and listen to music and such without playing with my phone, which is nice.
Back to your Verizon decision.
Yes.
Have you looked into the terms of service at all? I read something recently that they're having a data rollover thing now.
Yes.
Is that in effect?
Yes. Yeah, because I looked.
What you don't use this month is
Rolls
available next
month.
but only next month. It doesn't accumulate. It's just 1 month rolling.
No, maybe that's not how AT&T's works. Which used to be rollover minutes. Back in the day, it used to, you had so many minutes, and then it was cut off and then refreshed each month, and then they rolled out the rollover minutes.
Right.
So if it's done the same way, and if it's done the way AT&T's is, I think it's a 6-month period.
So it's a rolling 6 months.
Yes. So you get to 6 months, any data that was
Yeah.
accumulated 6 months ago, half a gig, that half gig disappears, but then you get those next 5 months of the most recent months.
Yeah. You can check that out.
Which comes in handy because when we did the mission trip and then we went on vacation,
Sure, if you have a spike.
so it was a much bigger spike in our usage, but we'd also had an extra several gigs of data that we hadn't used from previous months. And so we went over our normal allotted, but we didn't even go through the rollover amount, so it's nice. And yes, I saw that when I was looking at comparing price plans to see if it was comparable, because it used to not be, and that was one of the main reasons why I didn't switch to Verizon. Verizon was more expensive, but the price point is basically the exact same, and it's a gig more per month of data.
I've been very pleased with their.
We So yeah, they do, and so I looked it up, and they were showing that they're doing rollover data, and I didn't look if it is like a 6-month rollover, but I would imagine that it's more than just one.
This little storefront out here across from Fred Meyer, they were pretty good. I was surprised. They're little geeks behind the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Know what they're doing.
Yep.
And apparently they claim it's the same as going online or anywhere going to a real Verizon store.
Mm-hmm.
They sell the same product.
Yep. And sometimes, just depending on promotions and the deals they get, sometimes they can get pretty good discounts on devices. Yeah, and it's all done through Verizon, so they just get a cut of the money they're not making for Verizon. So
I read something that your iPhone 7 is going to be waterproof.
I know there's so many rumors out there now. It's crazy. They're now saying that the second speaker port, where the missing headphone jack is now not an actual speaker port, but just a single little hole for a microphone, another microphone for better